friends, thanks for joining me. Today I'm working on the August challenge, which is a tic-tac-toe, and as you can see you can pick any 3 items in a line, and I've chosen to use hexagons, mixed media and chipboard. I've got a bit of a confession to make. I forgot about the hexagons even, so I had to add a few at the end. So I'm going to document a trip that we made to Paris a few years ago. And what I've done is, as you can see there, I've just printed out the Eiffel Tower, and I'm going to just fussy cut around that, which I've stuck to the back of the paper. So if you don't have a cutting machine or a die cutting machine, this is a great way to cut out shapes and pieces, and I used to do this a lot before I owned one. So you just print them out, pop them on the back of your paper, and then just cut around the silhouette. So you can see this one had, it was just an example, Eiffel Tower. So, but I figured because I'm not using it as it is, I'll get away with any copyright issues. So it's really quite easy, and obviously if you've got a simple shape, the easier it is to cut out. So because it's such an iconic shape, I don't need a lot of detail, so I'm just getting rid of that rail that you can see in the middle there. And I've used the rainbow paper for this one. I did whether to use the blue reverse side of the paper because it's a nice small pattern. I would suggest if you are cutting things out like this, small patterns work better, because if you've got a really busy pattern then it kind of disrupts the eye around the shape. So definitely would recommend something plain or something with a small repeat pattern. So I kind of went around in circles for such a long time. No idea why, because travel is my absolute favourite theme. And secondly, the June kit is my absolute favourite kit. So, and I think sometimes that makes it worse, doesn't it? Because you don't want to spoil things, and you know, you really do want to do the best by it. So after a lot of pondering, which I did thankfully off camera, I'm going to go with a little swag of embellishments that will go from the right to the left there, so from the Eiffel Tower down to the bottom left hand corner. And that's because, no idea really, it's just the way it came out. I'd like to say I had some design feature that I was working with, but no, that's just the way it felt natural to me. So I've picked out some of the die cuts and the chipboard pieces, so tick in the box there. And I wanted to make my background a little bit more interesting, so I've pulled out a stencil, and this was from June 2021. Now I did check, this one is actually sold out, but I'm guessing if enough people ask Kimberly to have it recut and stocked in the shop, she'd sell loads of these, because this stencil is the bomb. I tell you, it's just such a good stencil. I've used it a lot for Hip Kit and on other projects. And this is why I would suggest you get the colour kit each month, because you'll get a gem like this, and it came with 2 texture pastes, and you'll just use it again and again, and it's just fab. So yeah, do go and nag Kimberly, and she might get it recut. So I've made some clouds, as you can see there, and that is with Salvage Patina, which is my absolute favourite colour. And I did get the new, now what's that called? Let me have a look. Bear with. Uncharted Marina, that's such a lovely name, which is like a darker teal colour. So I've just done a few clouds in that very softly, just to add something to my background. And then I am going round with a fine liner. So this is a 0.1 fine liner in a kind of a medium grey colour or a light grey colour. I use this a lot. I think the set I bought, there were 6 pens in there, so of different sizes and widths and colours, and this is the one I definitely use the most of. I think going with the grey kind of makes it a little bit softer. The black would be fabulous, but I tend to like a more subtle effect, and I use it for all sorts of stenciling. In this case I am doing dotted lines, so to look like a bit of stitching, but I just like the whimsical way it, you know, adds a bit of interest to my background. So rather than go precisely around the clouds that I've stenciled, I'm actually offsetting it because, as you can see in the close-ups at the end, I think it just looks more fun and just a little bit more interesting. So I just used a mixture of the 2 blues, not too many of the dark clouds, just a few of those. And I think I did add an extra one at the very end, just because the right of the Eiffel Tower was a bit blank, so I added another cloud at the end, in exactly the same way. So it did come together quite quickly, so I think once you've got that idea, it's quite easy to put a layout together. It's just coming up with the idea that's the problem, isn't it? I don't know if you're like me, but I can spend hours and hours on a layout because I don't know, I just sometimes just lack that complete focus of what I'm going to do. And I fuss too much, I think, as well, so I always want to do a good job, and then I think, oh, well, that's not very interesting, or, you know, so I think the stakes are high, it slows you down a little bit. Now, one thing I've done is actually loaded the Eiffel Tower onto foam tape, as you saw, and in the end I did add some doodling around the edge of the Eiffel Tower, which would have been easier had I not stuck it down on foam tape. So if you're going to do something similar, definitely do that detailing before adding the foam tape. And I'm just going to add a bit of colour below that little swag of embellishments. Not really sure what to call it, swag, swathe. And this colour is Mint to Be. Now, I think we got that 2 months ago, so I'm just going to check now. That should be maybe April's kit, April 22. Let me just check. Nope. Oh gosh, you know, the kits are so generous that you go in a bit of a blur. That's my whole life. Right, that could have been March. And if you're lucky, there might be some in stock. Absolutely love that mint blue colour. Let me have a look while I'm fiddling around. Yay, Bahamas Sunny. Oh, Ride the Tides, that was another one. Oh, there's so many lovely colours. I think I might have got it in March, but I think I had a substitute. Let's just check. So I'm just letting the inklings dry anyway, while I'm just looking for this fella. And while that was drying, I stuck down the Eiffel Tower. And the chipboard frames that you can see there are absolutely gorgeous. Perfect size for 2 small photos. Right, it was February 22 that colour came in. I can just see it now. It's Mint to Be. And it came with like a pink and an orange as well, which is beautiful. And the heart stencil. So I'll leave a link below for that because you can definitely get that one. And it is such a lush colour, if you like mint, which I love, obviously. So I'm just mounting that onto foam tape. I've got to a point in my day, it's quite late here. And so I've been working since about 7 this morning. So I've got to a point of delirium, I think, maybe, who knows. So there's a mixture of the die cuts and chipboard stickers, or chipboard shapes I should say, that are going in that swag. I'm just going to add a little bit of twine for my baggage claim ticket. And I do like to add a little bit of twine or cotton because I think that just gives it a nice little bit of texture. It might be subtle, but it's just something I really love. And I think tickets and of all sorts, tags are just my favourite thing to design with, to be honest. I could play all day with tags and tickets. I think it goes back to my childhood when the thing I wanted to do most was have, I remember I was about 7, maybe 7 or 8, and for Christmas all I ever wanted was a post office, so I could stamp the little, you know, postcards that I made, you know, put little stamps on them and frank them and sort of post them. And my little post office also had a little sweet shop attached. It was the best Christmas ever, let me tell you. So I've always had a little bit of a love for everything posty, tickety, you know, stampy things. And then I think at one point I did want to be a librarian because you could stamp the books in and out and the tickets. Thankfully, I did discover other things apart from being a librarian. So that little map that you can see there, it has some like shadows to do the, as if it was concertinaed, which I've just folded as well, just to give it a bit more dimension. I fussy cut the flower from one of the exclusive papers from June. I just thought it was nice to have a little soft pink. So it was my daughter and I went to Paris. This was between COVID episodes, so after the first one and before the second one. We were allowed to travel, and we travelled to Paris on some tickets that had been cancelled from earlier in that year. And it was absolutely the hottest thing on earth. I think it was about 32, 34 degrees some days, but in a city it's just airless. So we did have to come back to our hotel room, and that balcony is the view, you can see there, the view from our hotel room. So we had a beautiful, you know, ancient hotel room that was very, very French. With a great view, so we did have to come back and just cool down the air conditioning quite frequently. So that's my dog, you can hear padding around. Come to stick his nose in, no doubt. And then I forgot about my puffy stickers, so remembered I'd got puffy stickers, so I'm just going to chuck in a few of those little cute icons, perfect size for layering up. As you can see there. Dog's off again. And it was really generous this month, don't you think? So there was sticker books and puffy stickers, alphas. Oh, we just had the most amazing month, haven't we? So much to choose from. So I think after I finished recording, I did end up adding a few extra bits and pieces. So I'd forgotten those hexagons. I've die cut some hexagons, which you'll see I've put above the left hand frame there, and added one of the brads. There's a close-up of that cluster down the bottom there, and you can see more detail of the clouds. So I really love how it turned out. I hope you like it and will take part in the challenge this month. So I think you've got to the 18th of August to take part, so plenty of time. And I can't wait to see what you do, and hope you'll share that with us on the Facebook group. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care now. Bye.